Okay, what is up, everyone? Welcome to my first ever amateur VOD review. My name is Freedom Potatoes. I'm the mid laner for Oversoul Esports Incarnate, a Diamond Amateur League team. Although currently shooting for Masters, but that's a video series that I'm going to be starting up later this week. And yeah, this is our first match in the Aegis Defender League, which is a Masters 100 LP capped league that just started this week. So I'm going to go through draft real quick, and then I'm going to go through the early game, focusing on mostly my mistakes, followed by just trying to tell the story of the rest of the game, and then on to the next one. So yeah, hope that format is entertaining to you and informative to you. If you have any feedback, feel free to let me know. Let's get right into it. So for game one, we're on red side. We drafted a double enchanter bot lane with Trundle in the jungle for the first phase. We really like playing these double enchanter bot lanes. A lot of times it lets us just kind of say jungle go kill or top lane go kill if they're on a champion with enough carry potential. I think there was actually a little bit of a weakness this game in that we didn't have a ton of like consistent range DPS and really not a lot of AD in general, but luckily the enemy team drafted a pretty squishy comp that we were able to kind of take advantage of. They did first pick Karma as a flex pick, which caught us a little off guard. I mean, she's been buffed recently, so we knew it was a possibility. And yeah, they were able to counterpick Blitzcrank into our double enchanter bot lane, which was concerning. However, I think we actually managed to deal with it pretty decently throughout this game. So I'm just trying to pull up my... Sorry. There we go. Some timestamps to get looking at the game. So, first things first. The lane phase. Oops, sorry. Gotta mute this. I'm just gonna turn off the game audio and the comms audio for the time being, just so I can come through a little clearer. Yeah. So here in the early laning phase. Oh gosh, this thing is wilding out a little. Okay, so I had just taken a pretty bad reset here, which meant I wasn't able to get the wave state that I wanted. And that leads to my jungler dying. I do think there's like a little bit of an overextension from it on the grubs, but yeah, I took a greedy back in Vision of Jace, which definitely contributed to this play going the way it did. And we see Lilia on the grubs, so I should know more or less where she is. I think I also have a kind of a bad click in this trade here that allowed the Jace to jump on me and get a pretty winning trade. But yeah, moments later, we see that Lilia does the grubs as I go for a heavy trade. I'm also focusing, I think, a little too much on like interacting with my lane opponent and not enough on farm, which means the farm is a lot closer than I think it should be for how advantageous this matchup is overall. And then in comms, I called like, oh, Lilia could be on my top side. But failed to respect that, and the combination of her Swirl Seed plus Jace's EQ means I die. I greeted the flash thinking that I could live, but clearly not. I mean, big takeaway for me is something that I really need to internalize, like listening to that inner voice. I think a lot of times I recognize when I'm in danger, but don't react appropriately because I think I can outplay. So the next thing that happens, this is actually not really a mistake. The laning phase went pretty smooth for me, other than that one death. But we're fighting Herald here. I was kind of pincered off by, or not pincered off. I was separated from this fight by the Blitz, but I was able to. We're able to win the fight pretty hard thanks to a TP from our bot laner. And one thing I do think is kind of a larger mistake here is that as I go in here, I mean, they've got them really pinned down with a Trundle pillar, but by me flashing in, that actually puts me in range of the Blitz queue. Without really knowing what sums the enemy had up, I think that flash is like really unnecessarily greedy because like they're slowed, they're not going to dodge that stun anyway at max range. And if they do have flash, then me flashing isn't going to secure the stun landing. So yeah, I missed the stun because of Blitz's silence, but we won the fight anyway, which was pretty sweet. And then next point here, I believe I die to Jace going in. Again, not really respecting the Lilia, but there is kind of a funny outcome to this as he dies to a minion after living with like 6 HP. Yeah, if we go back just a little bit, and that's just, yeah, me trading with Jace. I think at this point I'm like, things are going pretty favorably for me. But they are able to pump out quite a bit of damage on me. I'm still on level 1 boots, and Lilia's fast, so she's able to run pretty fast. And the other unfortunate thing there is I was trying to use my wall to ensure Jace's death, but I like died during the cast animation, so it doesn't go off and he gets out. Or he almost got out. You know, we don't want to rely on small differences in luck like that. And then pretty much immediately after that, I head down to the bottom lane to take a trade with him. And after that short trade, I think I can win, but I underestimate his QCD, and he's able to get in on me. And then again, I believe I was trying to throw Q as I came out of egg there, but he times the E such that I get knocked away, and so it doesn't go off the way that I want it to. I think if I micro that just a little bit better, like lead with an instant Q, R, E, there's a pretty good chance that I kill him there. But the bigger mistake there is that just how I start the fight in the first place. I think I'm playing it like I'm expecting him to run away. However, like as soon as I put that ult down, I walk a little too close to try and get it. I don't really react to him wiggling forward. And again, there I believe my EA outranges his hammer form Q, but that's twice in a row where I walk too close to him, thinking that I'll be able to pressure him. Yeah, just lock him down with ult WQ and go for the kill. But he goes aggressive, gets out of my zone of control, and just kind of overwhelms the mental stack and gets me there. So yeah, that's most of the personal stuff. Here I land like a cool stun on the Lilia. She's able to flash out. This turns into like a pretty extended fight where we just chase them down mid. I'm like landing stun after stun, and this whole time our Seraphine has ult, but like doesn't throw it. Which I mean, I think I could have done a better job of calling that. But the whole time we're like blowing flashes. Seraphine gets hooked and dies, but we still get a 2-for-1 trade at the end of it all. And we're able to convert that into the Ocean Dragon, even though we have, or no, sorry, their jungler's dead, so we're able to convert that into the dragon with pretty minor losses. And then there's like kind of a repeat story here where Jace is going in on me on the bottom lane, and this time I have egg, and I actually, because I'm tanky with Roa at this point, I don't think he would have been able to finish my egg off, but our top laner TP's down, and since Jace blew his flash to get over my wall at the start of this play, since I zone him off with the wall, and then he flashes over it, the Malphite's able to chase him down. You can see on the mini-map, ult him, and get his shut down. So pretty successful teleport play from him, and this is kind of a recurring theme in this series with Jace jumping on me out of bushes. Next up, we have this Baron play. We see Jace bot, I believe with no TP, so we decide to start the Baron. I'm trying to zone Lilia with the wall, but I end up accidentally walling her in with my stun and Sona Whiff's ult, but we're able to lock her down with Malphite ult into a Seraphine ult, and that eventually results in the kill. I think that could have been played a lot cleaner, but yeah. In the meantime, Jace traded bot tower, so we can't even get Baron because we're busy trying to deny them the objective bounties. Yeah. Blitz gets cleaned up on the back of that, which is nice, though. And then, oops, that's a little too far forwards. Yeah, like I said, recurring theme with Jace in a bush. He jumps on me with a pretty decent combo. Since I'm knocked away during my Q, it doesn't land. But I'm tanky. I have armor now, and I do kill him, even though, once again, Malphite TP's down to try and help me out. Yeah, I didn't actually need him this time around. which felt pretty good. But I still think I actually played that pretty poorly. I face checked a bush, and like I think I should have a better sense of how this guy plays at this point in the game because he did pretty much that exact same play before. And another thing I can do mechanically with my champion is try to save Q for when I'm anticipate their CC and throw Q around it. Like most chases are going to E after a few autos, maybe even immediately after jumping in hammer form there. Yeah, since he ends up dying though, we're able to convert this into a Baron. They don't even really contest it. And then we push bot. Now here I throw a wall down, and I think they just like don't really respect how the wall affects their pathing because two of them walk into the stun. And I think in the short term that doesn't actually like net us anything, but we're 4v5 here, and I'm able to wall Karma off. We hit a 5-man Seraphine ult, which is absolutely massive, and just tear them apart even though we're down a member. Yeah, with the Baron, with the Ocean Soul, it's really too much for them to handle, and that eventually just ends up in us winning the game. Yeah, so overall, felt pretty good about that first game. There were a lot of mistakes that I think a better player could have punished harder into me, but it is what it is. I ended up doing my job pretty effectively. Yeah. So now let's go ahead and get into the second game. So for game 2, I don't have the like draft lol link here, but we've kind of switched things up this game. We've got, I'm on Azir this time around, trying to be a bit longer range DPS, a little less of a zone control, although Azir is quite good at that. We've taken the Lilia this game. We're keeping the Trundle from before. And we've swapped, we also managed to grab the Karma and pair it with more traditional hyper carry. Their team's like very kind of pick and dive oriented. They've got like Ornn for hard engage. The Jace stuck around, but Evelynn, Samira, and Rakan are all kind of looking for ways to flank and get in the middle of our team and just deal a ton of damage. So getting into the early game here, we almost have a repeat incident with Grubs where our jungler's on him, but this time we're a little more ready. We have our support roam up, and that results in us getting a kill on the Jace. I think Lilia just like heals a ton off of the Grubs with the passive and the jungle item, and so we're able to get those. All 3 of those early game, which feels really good. Not too much else to say there. And here I have a pretty nice play on the Jace. So he takes a trade onto me that's like I think a little greedy. He lands that, and then he uses his move speed to go on me while I'm trying to farm. So that was a misstep by me, but he oversteps. And you may remember from the earlier play, he has no flash. So I use flash to secure the kill. I might have been able to get it just with Q if I had positioned a little better, like anticipating him walking that way out of turret. But we get the solo kill, which feels pretty nice, as I feel like Azir's early damage is like not amazing. So we start off 2-0. Team's overall behind though. And this is a play where I make a little bit of a mistake. So our jungler is invading the enemy blue, but he doesn't quite get the steal, and is taking the 1v1. I'm coming to try help. Hey, my media is just like super fucked up. So yeah, we can watch this again. So the Evelynn gets low, but she decides to go back in because Jace is on the way. And I look for an EQ flash R, but Jace is able to Q over. Yeah, he's able to. I think he flash Qs here to get onto Lilia, and that takes him out of range of my ult, and Evelynn was also able to walk down out of it, but I kill her with the soldier, and then I just kind of have a 1v1 fight with Jace while the supports show up. Ornn ult comes down, but that shield's enough to let me get the kill on the Jace, which is splendid. Eventually Ornn burns his flash though. So I think kind of a recurring theme I've noticed for myself with the Azir gameplay is I just need to kind of slow down on the ults a little bit. Like there I didn't have Vision of Jace, so I didn't know if it would hit him, and I think I greeted too much trying to get both of them. I think if I had like just peeled Jace, our jungler would have lived, and I still would have been able to kill the Evelynn with a soldier. So don't need to look for the flashy faker play, and I think a lot of most Azir players have probably experienced that at some point or another. But still, 4-1 start, really big, but things kind of go downhill from here, where the Evelynn was invading our bot jungle, and so we decided to take this fight. Aphelios is dead, so it's 3v3 with Jace moving. So there's already a bit of I think this is already a bit suspect for us to take, but our jungler flashes over the wall, and I need to figure out a fix for what the hell is going on right now. But okay. Yeah, so he's able to land a flash Q on 2, but notably Samira didn't get hit there, and as we're gonna see, this is kind of exemplifying the point I was talking about before, where I look for kind of an EQ shuffle play here, but Evelynn had just ulted out, so she wasn't in any danger, and Samira wasn't hit by it in the first place, so she's also on the other side of my ult, which means my ult only really catches Rakan, and I think in this case I was kind of looking like. Our jungler is low, so I don't want him to die. But and I think we can play range pretty effectively into these champions. However, given the circumstances, I think actually just ulting Rakan upwards and kind of playing through the wall would have been a lot better, because he is able to get to his team and get out. Yeah, so I'm just gonna play that clip again. I shuffle in, but I only hit the one, and then Samira's able to dash in, get her ult up, and I just die quite quickly. Yeah, so a bit of a rush ult from me. I think also maybe a bit of a whiff on the Lily ult, but yeah, I don't know. I didn't have to take that as deep as I did. Like, my ult doesn't do that much damage, and putting myself in melee range of Samira is never really a good idea, because I can just outrange her, and if she can't touch me, like, it's such a free win. But I think at this point in the game she's pretty fed, so yeah, that's starting to become a worry. And then on this play, I mean, I don't even know what this was. We're pushing mid with Herald, and Trundle's split pushing top, and he gets jumped on by Evelynn and Ornn at the same time, but he's able to tank them up quite a bit because of stealing Ornn's resists. So I'm thinking here that we can get a kill, but Evelynn ults and flashes. I flash in for an ulti, but Ornn's able to get the knock up and destroy my ult wall. Then with the Rakan heal and shield, he ends up living, so that becomes I think this is like a 4 for nothing, or maybe even ace for nothing, because I flashed to try and kill a tank who, like, he might have had like a small shutdown, but no, he doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't even have a shutdown. Like, Samira is the one that we really need to watch out for. So again, bad ult target selection from me, like, I think unnecessary offensive summoner spell usage from me, and my lead is really dwindling here, from 4-0 briefly, or 4-1, but now I've had like 2 consecutive deaths without getting anything really accomplished on the map. I mean, the team as a whole, like, we took mid outer turret and the top inner turret, which is good, but I think the game state is not where we'd prefer it to be. And granted, we scale very well this game, but I think, like, we were in a leading position with a scaling comp, and it kind of turned into an even state. Okay, so moving on here. Hey, look, it's that Jason and Bush again. This is like really, really greedy from me. Like, I mean, the face check is like, I don't know, that happens, but I need to react faster with ultier instead of trying to like W and auto him so much. I just need to get it off me as fast as possible, because in hammer stance, like, that's a ton of my health already gone. And he uses transform, so he can't switch back to range and fight me. So once his ult is off, I can kind of free hit him, which, like, I do, but then I similar to what happened in the first game, I underestimate how short his to the skies cooldown has gotten, and so he's able to jump back in on me because I do a bad click. I walk towards him instead of like microing the soldier. I think that's something that, yeah, I'm still getting a little used to on his ear. He's someone that I play a decent amount, but not my highest mastery character for sure. And so, like, I think sometimes attack moving or just right clicking can get you in weird spots if they walk out of your soldier's attack range. So yeah, yet another unnecessary death. Wait, I think I even skipped one. At this. Oh well, this is one where I got dove. I actually felt pretty good about how long I lived here. in context, because they were looking for me for a good while. I'll just show this clip because I was looking for, like, I don't know. There was not a ton I could have done here, but I guess I am on the map in a position where no one's really able to answer. Which, yeah, with Baron up, that's like really dangerous because our team's all bot side. Like, if they were a little more attentive, I think that could be Baron for them. Okay, yeah, so but this makes for now 4 consecutive deaths without anything, which, like, is pretty bad. I think my mid game in this game made it a lot closer than it needed to be, considering how well it started. Like, we're down 10 kills overall. We have objective bounties, though, with a split pushing Trundle, which is nice. Like, 6 scrubs, Trundle can kind of wreak havoc on the enemy team. Now, this is a play that I actually quite liked. Dragon's coming up soon, and we were fighting for mid prio. And at a certain point, we realized, like, hey, they have no one mid. Let's just shove this. Like, I think this is their 3rd dragon that they're looking for here. Maybe even their 2nd. Something, yeah, 2nd or 3rd dragon. And so as they kind of overextend onto our jungle and support, we just slam the wave down mid. And I think that was like a good call from us. Our top laner trades 1-for-1 on the top side too, which is pretty helpful for this kind of split. But I think this is where it kind of becomes an overstay, because, like, Jace comes up, and you know, now Rakan's here, Samira's here. Things just start going to hell. And I think there's no good reason for me to walk in here. Like, I thought I could threaten the Jace, but yeah, once they all show up from behind, I can't really peel. Like, this ult looks good, but there's still people all around us, and they all do a lot of damage. So we get aced for that. We get the turret. You get 2 turrets, actually. Which, you know, considering that we have objective bounties, is a lot of gold for us, but we still give over Dragon and a lot of gold in the form of kills. They kind of march it down mid instead of going for drag, which, like, I think is a fine call from them. Yeah, like, they're just trying to take as many towers as they can, get as much gold in their pockets as they can. They get an inhib, they get the bot inner tower, and in response to that, we end up playing, like, a very split pushy game, because I mean, we have no vision. I'm the last one to respawn. There's no way I'm making it to that dragon, so I think I can just go for top tower here. I've got a lot of attack speed. I have Lichbane. I'm Azir. Like, yeah, you know, we got 6 Void Grubs. I do get the tower, but their team does show up. I have to expend Flash to get away. But the good news there is that I pulled multiple members of their team away from drag, and so we're able to get that in the end. Then Evelyn shows up, and I have to ult her. I actually, like, almost kill her, but I don't quite have the damage or the vision to go for something aggro like that, which, yeah, makes this whole ordeal quite scary for me. Yeah, that's that play. And then we're playing the split push game again, which, like, leads to them initiating a Baron. I don't really have a way to, like, we just don't really have a way to get in. We don't have a ton of frontline without Trundle. So we just decide to trade inhib. Yeah, this I think is a bit like another one of those kind of mistake plays. It looks good for a second here, but we get wiped. We do get the inhib, but yeah, our objective there should have been just to stop backs and not look so hard, because the Trundle's really strong. He can smack Jace on that side lane. Yeah, but I think, like, this look from our jungler is a little too deep, because, like, just having the slept target forces them to stay, and his passive plus Leandry's can, like, force them to stick around. But yeah, once he goes into the people and gets CC'd, it's kind of over. And then, yeah, I don't think my ult was very good either here. Like, why am I going in? Again, the objective is to stop their backs. It almost sets up, like, a really nice Infernum combo for Aphelios, but because I pushed Rakan into him, he gets charmed. He doesn't have the follow-up damage, and so all we get is Evelyn in that fight. And, like, you know, it could be worse. I think what's it? Yeah, it could have been worse. More of us could have died, but, like, yeah, 2-for-1 and the bot inhib going down ends up being, like, fine, I guess. I don't know. They have inhib dead though, and they almost end here. This game goes really, really long from this point. Like, it is one of the most insane things I've ever seen. And like this looks really scary. Like our Lilia almost dies, our Trundle almost dies, but they're able to just fight it out and win it against all odds. And in return, we get 4 kills. Like, that's looking, pretty good for us. But we don't have the waves pushed. Evelyn, we have no TP. Evelyn clears out bot. So the game goes on. Okay, there's that. So the next thing that happens is, we think we can end, but our jungler gets popped by Eve because he's a little too far up mid. When she comes out, he just gets nuked. Absolutely, there's no karma to shield him. And the same thing's about to happen to me in a second here. We get this, there's 5 seconds left on the enemy team, so we think we might be able to take a Nexus Tower and end, but I don't Zonya's that, and even without ult, that damage is a little crazy. I die and the play ends. And then our top laner was TPing in to try and help end to boot, which I think he could have been more patient with that, but that was the call. It was look for the end. So we have to slink back to our base. 4 of them march down mid. It's a 2v4 base defense, and yet once again, against all odds, we managed to hold on. I come back up. Yeah, that inhib respawning was super clutch. They try to keep this minion alive so they can take the turrets. And we're just, fighting for our lives. Evelyn is about to go down. I have to self-peel with ult. But Lilia damage in this grouped up enemy situation is just so huge. We're able to take them down with the Nexus at about half HP, which looks pretty good, but we've got no waves. Our TP can't get that much done. So I TP bot and try to push. But it ends up not resulting in anything. And so at this point our Nexus is open. So I was kind of turtling in base, but Evelyn showed here, trying to look for a top play, and then Ornn's ult gets messed up by someone hitting the blast cone. He takes forever to die. I almost get engaged on by the Rakan, which could have lost us the game, but that time I was a bit quicker on the reaction with my ult, and this is turning into a really winnable fight. They're all low. I'm able to land the slows and some damage, but eventually they're able to slink away. So then we catch a whiff of Evelyn going a little too deep on our bot side. I think she flashed there. And I'm about to get the kill. She's able to ult over the wall, but Trundle munches her, which puts us back in the driver's seat a little bit, even though we have the open Nexus. That's the one person who could really threaten to just sneak in and end. And so we think we can end off of that. I'm dealing crazy damage. We're able to get the Jace. But waves are dying. Trundle's pushing bot in. Samir's flash gets taken there. So things are looking pretty good as we're pushing in 4v3. I'm really trying to just keep Samira zoned so that other people can hit the Nexus turrets. But something I don't know exactly what goes wrong here. I think she's just able to heal a lot off the Nexus, and then also Trundle gets CC'd and kind of nuked by her, which is suboptimal because she's able to do a lot. I Zonya's to try and not get popped by Rakan, but then Evelyn comes in and is able to one-shot me. Our DPS is crazy though, so we're able to trade her back, but with Ornn, Rakan, and Samir up, we're unable to end, and so we have to slink away. And then our Karma shields herself, which means that the ADC dies, and while trying to compensate for that, she gets killed. And this is looking pretty doomed. 4 of us are down, the Nexus is open, all we have is an inhib up, but believe it or not, we managed to hang on. I'm trying to remember what exactly happened here. So I guess they just didn't think they could do it. I don't know. That's a little surprising. But then our jungler gets jumped in the top side, but Evelyn can't nuke him. That ends up being a kill, which is really big again. But Trundle is a little overextended top side, and that becomes a 1-for-1. And with our only 80 damage down, ending is, tall order. We look for the fight anyway, and I think this is a pretty big mistake. Because we don't really have vision in that top jungle quadrant. And this Ornn just takes forever to die. Canuck Rookern all those items make him impossible to kill. Yeah, Rakan hits a 4-man ult, and I should have been a little more ready for this. I mean, Vision would have really helped here also, but yeah, if I can peel him off, I think this fight goes a lot better for us, but we just get wombo comboed by the Ornn setting up, or the Rakan setting up the Ornn and Samira, and again, it looks pretty doomed, but there's supers in their base. They're not really in a good position on the map to go for our base, so we live another day. You know, things are not looking so good. Aphelios and Trundle have to 2v2 to win, but Rakan sets up Samira, but I mean Trundle's a little bit of a crazy champion. He just gets to smacking and deletes Samira, completely saving the game, and now we have a numbers advantage. Surely the game ends here, right? I mean, we're killing a lot of people, but as you may suspect, this doesn't work out our way. I TP down bot, but Ornn's ready to intercept me, and he is a very, very tanky guy. 6,400 health. He actually does like a lot of damage, which I kind of underestimated. And yeah, and then there was kind of a sloppy call for Lilia to walk bot when I think it would have been better for her to actually just like stay mid. So we're not able to accomplish too much. Yeah, he's just so tanky that he can hold those waves, and without a proper tank, we're not really going to get through that turret. So we look for top inhib instead, because the enemy team is respawning. They've got their carries coming up, and we have to get out of there. And so things continue, and finally come to a head here in this Baron fight. Trundle's fighting Ornn down in the bot side, and yeah, as the enemy team's on Baron, we're trying to look, but I think they get it like just as we show up. Samira Windwall blocks my ult, so she's able to flash in and like pop off, and once again, things look doomed. Like, I get popped, the bot lane dies, our jungler's dead. They can look for the end, but we have the Trundle split pushing, and as tanky as Ornn is, he's not enough to stop a whole breaker Trundle, so he's just able to beat the ever-living crap out of the Nexus and win us the game, which was in real time just a beautiful thing to witness. I just...
I might end.
Okay. Yeah, you have to. Oh, it's big! It was such a long game, so back and forth. It was a lot of fun, but also heart-wrenching through and through. So yeah, that's our first match in Aegis, starting off with a 2-0. Game 1, I think, felt pretty good. Game 2, very sloppy at times, but a win's a win. Yeah, so, you know, let me know if you want to hear more of like my thoughts about my own gameplay, if you want to hear more about how I interpret the team's play. I want to kind of experiment with the format, see if I can make it a little quicker and to the point in the future. But this is kind of just, yeah, unedited, me yapping about the game for however long it's been. But I hope you enjoyed that little insight. You know, if you want to hear comms from the game in the future, that's also something I can do. I figure I'm trying to provide my own voice a little here, but maybe comms here and there for certain plays where the comms are like integral to whether the play went right or wrong. Yeah, it's something I'm looking into. I just want to kind of provide some insight into like what goes on in the sort of amateur league team as we're all trying to improve individually and as a squad. Yeah, so if you enjoyed that, you know, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll be doing 2 of these videos every week. One for our Aegis League matches, one for our Titan Esports matches, and then I am also going to be posting solo queue VOD reviews a couple times a week. Yeah, so stay tuned for what's next. See you later.